Zealand we have a Prime Minister as opposed to a President, so very much the British system of governance, etc. So our Prime Minister at the moment is a guy Christopher Luxon. Clearly indicated flags flying high. He's in-house, so I think he's here in the country at the moment. He won't.
So there was Murray giving us a brief explanation of where we were, of Parliament, and what they do. Unfortunately, we did not get to visit Sport New Zealand, but we did get to go to Parliament, which was a very cool experience, and I kind of learned a lot about how sports here are different than in the United States. Because in the United States, from what I see and what I know, U.S. sports are more about performance, commercialization, and heavy competition. And a lot of the athletes that we see today in the United States come from high school and college athletics. And so in New Zealand, it's very, very different because they mostly emphasize the community, the well-being of athletes and its people, and they also want to make sport very accessible to everyone in the nation. So they want to include gender, race. So they're very, very, very fair in New Zealand in terms of very inclusivity in sports compared to the United States. With that being said, I saw that New Zealand's identity was strongly influenced by the Maori culture, and that was very evident by a lot of the carvings and structures that I saw inside Parliament and the meaning behind them. So because of that, I can see why New Zealand can mostly emphasizes a lot of unity, respect, connection in their sports, and why they're very heavy and focused on teamwork and community rather than just individual athletes. Because in the United States, it's not like that at all. They're mostly concentrated on winning and being the best, and they actually do focus more on individual athletes in the United States. So in terms of like opportunity and accessibility to, I guess, what you would call elite sports, I think New Zealand is, of course, more inclusive and community friendly, because in the U.S. you need more resources. You need more connections to schools, connections to high competition levels, and you need more money in the United States to actually make it in professional sports. While in New Zealand, that's I believe if you actually want to go into professional sports, it'll be a little bit more easier because you don't really need as many resources, or having the privilege of going through college or high school as an elite athlete. So unlike the United States, I believe that if New Zealand actually funneled more money into the sports, kind of in the way that the U.S. does, I do believe that they would be much more competitive in other sports that they don't really specialize in, so such as soccer or hockey or maybe even baseball if they wanted to. So my visit to the Parliament kind of demonstrated to me, or I guess kind of showed me, how sports in New Zealand are more about inclusion, community, equality. So compared to the U.S., it's very, very different. So being able to see the differences in both countries kind of showed me how each country's culture shapes the way that sports are not just played, but what they represent and the kind of people that they want to include in their sports. So even without the Sport New Zealand visit, I think that what I saw in Parliament really revealed the differences in the way sports are played and viewed in both countries, and I learned a lot.